In today's video, we remove Richard Griffiths' face from the XJ40.
This is one of those sort of in-jokes that a couple of friends of mine and I have, that the XJ40 steering wheel in the original XJ40 does look a bit like Richard Griffiths' face, as you can see here with the zooming in. There you go, there's Richard Griffiths' face. Well, it's actually an XJ40 steering wheel. Anyway, this is part 2 of the project where we are actually going to be replacing the steering wheel within the XJ40. Now, tools I would recommend is a breaker bar, a 24mm socket, and a steering wheel puller, as to be perfectly honest with you, having a steering wheel come off in your face is not fun. Now, what you need to do is you need to get the car set in straight ahead position, which I have done here. In fact, at the moment the steering lock is on, so the steering wheel is canted to a slight angle. Pulling off the cover is quite a simple thing to do, and that exposes the 24mm nut. And as you can see, I'm just trial fitting the other wheel to there, just so it's showing you what it looks like. So the 24mm nut will probably be on quite tight. So what you'll want to do is get your breaker bar onto an extension, hold the steering wheel, or have a colleague hold the steering wheel, and then you can actually break off the nut. Not literally break it off, but you can get it off easily enough. I was actually able to get away with just doing it using this socket and holding the wheel myself, but if it is on particularly stiffly, or tightly rather, it will need that breaker bar to be able to get it off. So just removing it here, and in a moment I'll actually be pulling the steering wheel off. What it's actually worth doing is on these splines, when they go on, it's actually worth just putting a bit of grease onto the inside of the steering wheel so it goes onto those splines a little bit easier. And also means that if you've got to remove it again at some point in the future, it won't have stuck onto the splines. This wheel actually had some grease on it, so as I'd replaced this one once before some time back, when I went from a plastic XJ40 steering wheel to a proper leather rimmed one. So the XJ6s had the plastic wheel, the Sovereigns had leather rimmed one. So what I'm going to be doing here, once I put the camera down, is actually wriggling the wheel to remove it. It doesn't just sort of come off by sort of just looking at it. So with the wheel removed, you've got the pod there exposed, and if you wanted, you could actually overhaul the indicator and other auxiliary switches, but I didn't need to in this case. What I'm doing with the new wheel is I'm mounting it onto the splines at a slight angle, as you can see here, so that when you do pull it to the straight ahead position, it is actually facing straight ahead. So I tried a couple of different variations of the positioning and found that this particular position here is actually fine. It's sort of dead on straight ahead. What you can do, if you find that after you've fitted it the wheel is a bit sort of skew with, is you can actually take the car to, say, a supermarket car park or somewhere where there's a large amount of flat space, park up, make sure that it's straight, take the tools with you, and make sure that you've got the relevant tools, and you can actually remove the wheel, straighten it up, and then put it back on again. To be honest with you, I'm pretty certain I've actually got this right, because it is in a similar position, in fact almost an identical angle position to the original wheel when it was on there. So obviously the next job is to obviously tighten this up. Now I would recommend actually getting your torque wrench out for this. So tighten it until it's tight, and then use the torque wrench to the factory figure just to make sure that it is on there tight enough, because you don't want it coming loose whilst you're driving and for the wheel to just suddenly pop off. And here we have the finished article with the cover back on. What I actually did before bringing it out was I just gave the wheel a good old buff up with some standard furniture polish, so it just gives it that sort of nice shine to the leather, and also sort of removes some of the tackiness that the vinyl coat had. You'll notice here I've actually got a slightly bare and rubbish looking handbrake. The original sheath is long gone. Not sure where it is, but I had this one which I had from a previous JaguarSport arrangement, which was this rather nice leather trimmed affair with some sort of rather nice stitching. And what I'll be doing with that at some point is actually just giving that a clean up and giving that a bit of a vinyl coat as well. I'm going to see if I can find a way of actually keeping the red stitching, but what I may have to do is use something to put the red stitching back in, but I think the grey with the red stitching would look quite nice. So that'll be the next minor interior trim remedy to take place. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching part 2. If you have any queries, just leave them in the comments section. Don't forget to like, and also don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming fascinating hobbies. Thanks for watching.